This is Don with Virtual 360 Images. Today we're going to do a short video. If you want to become a better photographer, stop doing the following 7 things. The original article I used in this video came from Picture Correct. I modified some of the items and added the photos. I admit it, at some point I have probably done everything on this list, but I've noticed I've actually made progress over the years. Some of these things are so common you may not even realize you're doing them, and sometimes you just can't avoid this stuff no matter how hard you try. The first item, don't read the camera manual. Same old story. You buy a new camera, put the box away, and the camera manual stays inside the plastic package. Maybe it's time to dig out the manual and attack it with a highlighter pen. 2. Center your subject. If you want your picture to stand out, learn and use the rule of thirds. At the same time, look at your background and see if it tells a story. The 2 pictures I put up on the screen, the subjects are centered. You can't see where my wife and I are basically at. I retook the pictures, and you can see at this point where she's at. In this case, using the rule of thirds also lets the photo tell the story of where she's at the beach. The rule of thirds would not be a bad idea to read up on that in your manual. If you'll notice that I've placed her in both pictures down the sides pretty much in line with one of the lines, the one on the left, one on the right. If you're doing a group of people, you'll probably end up centering them left and right. But if you can, you line up their eyes or forehead with the top line. If you're doing landscaping, such as a mountain range, you would put the base of the mountain along the bottom one. If you're doing a sunset, say out on the water, you'll probably want to put the horizon along the bottom. Failing to consider the background, look for simple backgrounds behind your subject. Avoid clutter in your background and foreground. You don't want telephone poles sticking out of the top of your subject's head or trash cans in the foregrounds. 2 examples. The one on the left was taken in Matlacha, just north and west of Fort Myers. Trash cans, power poles. You're not always going to get away from power lines. You may only get away from power lines as if you want to go back in with Photoshop or one of them and edit it out, which is not that hard to do, and I've done that in some other examples or videos. The one on the right is downtown Fort Myers. We did that as an architectural shoot. All the power lines downtown area, the old part, is all overhead, so it's hard to get away from them. This is not a picture that I would use or save even with the power lines running across in front of it. It would have been a neat picture without. Sometimes all you have to do is look at a little different angle. Step a little bit left or right may be enough to hide these unwanted items. These pictures were taken at the same time the one on the previous page was taken. As I go back and forth, you can see. By shooting at the angle that I did eliminate the ugly power poles, and also the 2 trash cans. Item 4. Don't use the viewfinder. Why do something like that? How many times has your photos come out with a blurry foreground and a clear background? I'm guessing you used your LCD screen and not your viewfinder. Most of the time, if you're using your LCD screen, you're not holding it still. LCD screens are hard to focus because you can't always see the focus points and end up focusing on something in the background and not the foreground. LCD screens are hard to see when you're focusing in the sunlight or in a dark area, such as outside at night, or a large room that's got poor lighting in it. If you look at the 2 examples I have here with the LCD screens, the 2 examples I have here, the LCD focused on the backgrounds, and you may not have noticed it when you were getting ready to take this picture. If you go to the viewfinder, you can actually see the focus points that you don't always see in the LCD screen. Also, within the viewfinder, remember we talked about rule of thirds. And if you want to move your subject off to the side, you may be focusing on the background. So put your subject in the center of the viewfinder, hold down your button halfway until your subject is in focus. Then move your camera off to the left or off to the right without letting off on the shutter button. Once you get it where you want, go ahead and press it the rest of the way. Your foreground will stay in focus. Your background may or may not, but that's immaterial. But you want your foreground to stay in focus. That's your subject that you're trying to hang on to. The other thing that I tell people, when using a viewfinder, you'll also find out your forehead acts as a stabilizer. Also, watch how you're holding the camera. Make sure you're holding it stable. The correct way is actually the way it is in the upper right-hand corner, where you hold one hand underneath the lens. That way you can still turn the lens as far as zooming in, zooming out, and maybe if you're using manual focus. Number 5, rely on a single memory card. As I'm doing this, I find myself shaking my head because some of these things are so simple. Why do we continually do them? Those little storage cards are not expensive anymore. But if you don't have more than one card, you're going to get bit in the bun. Murphy's Law states that a memory card will fill up when you're ready to shoot that money shoot, when the light is just right, or when the entire group is smiling at you. If you don't have more than one memory card, go out and buy one now. Always travel with more than one card. When we go on vacation, I carry maybe 3-4 cards with me. If we visit with the kids, I will put their sporting events, because we have soccer games, baseball games, I will put all them on one card. If we have family outings, I will put them on another card. Or as we're traveling up and back from up north, I will put the travel part on a separate memory card. Shoot from eye level. Amateur shutterbugs tend to hold the camera at head height when shooting in a location. Learn to work the scene. Drop to your knees or even lay on the ground to find a fresh angle. Remember that the best tool of composition can be your feet. 3 examples here. The one on the left, she's actually gotten down where she could take those 3 plants at the angle that she wanted to see it, and the best angle that to display them. The one on the right, our camera club was creating a calendar called Seniors, and we were trying to duplicate one of the scenes in Caddyshack. And that's our pro laying on the ground, and eventually we would superimpose a ground squirrel in there. You'll notice we actually got down on the ground and laid and took the pictures to be at the same angle that our golf pro was laying. And the one in the center at the bottom, I'm a staff photographer for Children's Hospital, Pediatrics, and Cancer. So most generally when I'm shooting special events for them, you'll find me down on both knees, and I'm at the same level with the kids that I'm taking pictures of. Post too many pictures. Another one where I kind of shake my head. We all take poor pictures, badly exposed and blurred, but there's no need to post them out to everybody in the public. Carefully select only the best pictures. People tell me I shoot great pictures, and my comment has always been, I just don't show you the bad ones. There's a series of pictures here, all of the same flower. Blurred or shaky. Can't decide what it is. And one in focus. I see this mostly in Facebook more than any place. People will take 10, 12, 15, 20 pictures. Maybe only 5 or 4 of them are good. The rest of them are blurred. The subjects are halfway out of the frame. They're turned sideways. There's a number of reasons that I don't think they're acceptable out there. So when you get ready to post pictures, people don't want to see all your bad pictures. They just want to see your good ones. So just show them the good ones. This was a short video, but I want to thank you for watching. If you want to be a better photographer. If you like our videos in YouTube, subscribe to them. I am constantly putting out new ones all the time.